What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Count Jitzlo here, coming at you once again through the power of the internet. And yes, I know I took a really long break from making YouTube videos, and there was just a lot of stuff going on in my life that I wanted to take care of, but I was actively playing the game, and well, just a lot of stuff happened in Pokemon Go that I would really like to cover, but we're not really going to be talking about that today. We're going to be talking about moving forward, what we can expect in the coming months, and what I think the recent CP rebalance that actually we're about to get, depending on when you're watching this video, what that means for the future of Pokemon Go, what I think it's going to be leading towards. We're going to be talking about that. And yeah, if you end up enjoying this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if it's your first time here, and hit that thumbs up button. And let me know in the comment section below how you did with Gengar Day, with Cyndaquil Community Day, with the Stardust event, how much Stardust you got. Just let me catch up with you and just let's talk about how we did. So like I mentioned, depending on when you're watching this video or when I decide to upload it, we will have a CP rework in the game, and it's something that we could use to look forward to a lot of different features that are coming to Pokemon Go, or we could use it to kind of re-strategize what's currently in Pokemon Go. It really depends on how you look at things. But for me personally, I look at the CP rework as something that's going to lead to a lot of great things. One thing that I think is kind of obvious is the PvP aspect of Pokemon Go, which is currently missing in the game. I really think this is going to lead towards that being implemented into this game. Now, the reason why I say this is, of course, because if you look at the CP rework, if you look at the health rework, it's trying to kind of normalize Pokemon and bring them all up to a very similar level. Now, this is only something that is absolutely necessary if they're trying to kind of create a balanced playing field for PvP. Because of course the last thing you want is to have a huge wall like Blissey or Slackoth or Snorlax just dominating the playing field, and for any player who does not have any of these Pokemon, well, they're going to be at a serious disadvantage. But the fact that they're actually leveling the playing field, making weaker Pokemon stronger, and making some of the overpowered Pokemon down a little bit, I think this is a really good sign that we're going to be getting PvP sometime in the near future. Now, the CP rebalance is not the only thing that they needed to do in order to usher in PvP. I actually think they need to do a rework of the gym system. Of course, we've already had a rework, and I do kind of like the current gym system compared to how it was before. Of course, like getting coins is a little bit confusing because you're incentivized to keep the Pokemon in the gym, but you want them knocked out in order to collect coins. But when it comes to the whole gym badges and with, you know, collecting Stardust through feeding berries, I actually like the current system. It is a lot more active and a lot more intuitive compared to how it was before. I mean, before all you really had to do was just try to find as many empty slots in gyms as possible, or you were forced to kind of train up a gym in a sense in order to get open slots. A lot of that was really annoying, and it forced you to play in a very grindy way, and it really just wasn't a lot of fun compared to how it is now. But I still think the current gym system can use a rework because, of course, like I said, it is a little confusing with how you get coins. I think they could come up with a more organic system for getting coins through gyms, and of course with the whole tap and swipe mechanics of the gym battling system, like, I just don't find it to be that fun. It is a little mindless, and I feel like something that's a little bit more strategic would be a lot better for the game. Of course, they don't necessarily have to revamp the rating system, but of course, gym battles and raid battles are very closely tied together, so I can imagine that whatever they end up doing to rework the gym battling system, it will affect raid battles as well. But I do think that with certain Pokemon getting buffs, when some other Pokemon getting nerfs, I really think this is something that could really be the opportune time for them to completely rework the battling system. We'll just have to wait and see. Now, of course, I made a video talking about exclusive moves and legacy moves and my issue with those. I really think their value is even more substantial now, because if you think about a lot of the Pokemon that are getting buffs, they are Pokemon that have really strong legacy moves, but the only difference is, of course, they are very squishy Pokemon. They were all glass cannons, but now they're a little bit more defensive and they could last longer in battle. So for example, Gengar with Lick and Shadow Ball, or even Shadow Claw and Shadow Ball, they're going to be a lot more valuable now compared to how they were before. So I really hope Niantic does something to kind of offset the imbalance, because of course there are a lot of Pokemon that you can get through trading, but when it comes to trading, the one caveat is you have no control over IVs. And of course with IVs, they are essentially something that could make or break how strong a Pokemon is. Not by a substantial amount, of course. I mean, it really comes down to the max CP. Like if you have a maxed out Gengar and then you have a 100% Gengar that's only level 20, obviously the maxed out Gengar is going to be a lot more useful. But once we start maxing out all of our most useful Pokemon, that's when IVs will actually matter. So I really think Niantic should consider implementing items that will allow you to increase your IVs. I think this is something that a good chunk of the community has been wanting, and of course there's been pushback as well, because a lot of people who used to play with scanners want to kind of keep the value of those 100% Pokemon that they caught back in the day intact. And I can understand that, but I mean, if it comes down to it, I really think for a competitive mode like PvP, having something like bottle caps or iron, zinc, and all of those items implemented into the game could be a nice reward system for PvP. I mean, when it comes down to it, if you want people to engage in PvP, you have to have some unique rewards attached to it. Of course, with Adventure Sync and with trading and with the friend system, there were a lot of nice rewards attached to them, but if you look at those systems, there are some unique rewards for those systems. Like, for example, with the Adventure Sync, which is the most recent feature that they implemented. By the way, Adventure Sync is freaking awesome. Like, good job, Niantic. I've been out and about walking more than I ever was, and even though it is blistering cold out right now, like, I find myself walking and engaging more with the game because of this whole Adventure Sync thing. But besides the point, yeah, you see a lot of nice rewards attached to Adventure Sync, so there is an incentive to do it. Like, you get a nice amount of balls, and then you could possibly get a 10 km egg, so it is a reliable source to get 10 km eggs. And of course, with the friend system, you have the 7 km eggs, which is unique and exclusive to the friend system. Of course, with raiding, when that was introduced, it was the only way to obtain charge TMs, fast TMs, as well as rare candies, so people were incentivized to do that. And then you have some exclusive Pokemon and legendaries that could be awarded through the research task system, and of course we had special research for mythicals. You can kind of see what I'm getting at. I think Niantic is smart enough that if they were to implement PvP, they would need to have very special rewards attached to them. Of course, we do have the new Sinnoh Stone that's coming up. That's kind of like the evolutionary item that we're going to be using for cross-gen evolutions. That could possibly be a reward for PvP. Of course, those items are attached to these special boxes, and maybe those boxes are what's going to be a reward for PvP or some other function. So of course, yeah, I think for PvP to work, they need to attach rewards that are specifically geared towards PvP and are only rewarded through PvP. My thing is, I really think they should introduce bottle caps into the game, and that should be a reward for PvP. Basically, the amount of work you put into PvP will make your Pokemon stronger, which will make you stronger as a PvP player. I think it just makes sense, because essentially with bottle caps or any kind of item that increases IVs, you're kind of training up Pokemon beyond just training them up with Stardust. And it just makes sense for PvP. You want your Pokemon to get stronger and stronger until they're 100%. And yeah, I just think the flavor of it works. I think the mechanics of it work. So maybe Niantic, if you're watching this, that's my kind of idea for how you could make PvP rewards. But yeah, regardless, we have a lot to look forward to, and I really think the CP rework is just one drop in the bucket towards PvP. And we're about to get a whole tidal wave of content through PvP. And honestly, I've been saying this for a while. I think PvP will completely change Pokemon Go. Possibly they could add a Pokemon League. This is something that I wanted for a very long time. I mean, you look at the current game as it is right now and what motivates a lot of players, especially the highest end players. It's like world rankings, it's like stats comparisons, you know, people want to compare their stats with other players. That's what's motivating players, and I think to have that officially in the game through some sort of ranking system, like, you know, you could call it the Pokemon League and have it attached to stats as well as your performance in PvP. I think that's something that would really be awesome for Pokemon Go. It's just a thought. But I'm really excited for PvP. I think it's going to completely change the game. Possibly Pokemon Go could become an esport, like those commercials that we saw back in the day with people in a Pokemon stadium playing Pokemon Go. That could be a reality for Pokemon Go in 2019. Just wrap your head around that. So yeah, we got a lot to look forward to when it comes to Pokemon Go. I think PvP is a really big one, and I do think we're going to be getting it by the end of the year. I think this whole CP rebalance happened because of that. I think it's not necessarily because of the current gym system, because if it was that, they would have done this ages ago. I really think it's because they are gearing the game up for PvP, so we could look forward to that, and I'm super excited for it. I mean, you got to think about it. PvP could be the big thing for Pokemon Go and really elevate it to become an esport, to be a spectator sport. But yeah, like I said, I do think we're going to get it by the end of the year, and 2019, it's going to be all about PvP and world rankings and different things like that. It's a really exciting time to be a Pokemon Go player. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. What do you think the CP rebalance is for? Do you really think it's going to be for PvP, or do you think it could be possibly for something else? I would love to know your thoughts in the comments section below. And yeah, if you ended up enjoying this video, hit that thumbs up button. If it's your first time here, hit that subscribe button as well as that little bell. Plan to make a lot more Pokemon Go videos, so be on the lookout for that. And I really don't know how to end these videos, so I'm just gonna say I am Count Jinsula, and I will catch you all later.